Hello, good morning, everybody. I thought I would do a quick update just because I have COVID. Way, woo! Finally, not that it's something that I've been wanting to achieve for the past 2 years, but anyway, yes. So I'm currently in self-isolation and I am bored out my brain. I'm not quite sure how I managed to do this for the first half of 2020, to be honest, when I was in isolation for goodness knows how long, because this is day 6 or 7 and I'm bored like nothing on earth. But anyway, yes. So last week I was down in London for a work meeting, um, which I was a bit apprehensive about because obviously I haven't been, well, not obvious, I haven't been outside of Scotland for 2 years since the pandemic. And down in England right now, all the regulations, all the COVID measures have been stopped essentially. You don't need to wear a mask, you don't have to self isolate if you're positive. It's all been kiboshed, whereas in Scotland we still have some of those measures in place. So I was a little bit apprehensive about going to England just because I thought, well, COVID's probably going to be rife, and on top of that, it's busier anyway. And traveling on a plane, I normally always get some kind of infection, or I get a cough or something after being on a plane. So yeah, all round was a little bit nervous about it. I went down and was firstly astounded by how much of a time warp London is in. Almost, it's like it's in another world, or maybe I've been in the time warp up here. But just coming out into Heathrow and everybody was essentially maskless, and so many people together, no social distancing, nothing like that. People coughing and blah, just yeah, not great. So that was a shock to the system, but you have to adjust pretty quickly. So I was there with my N65 or N95 mask on, whatever you call it. And yeah, so London was totally relaxed, if you like. I was more or less the only person wearing the mask on the trains, more or less the only person wearing a mask in the airport. Well, actually, that's not true. More people in the airport were wearing masks. But yeah, just to be even around that many people, because obviously for the past couple of years, I've very much been trying diligently to avoid big crowds and avoid being in sort of tightly packed spaces indoors. So yeah, which has obviously served me really well. It's probably been a combination of that and being lucky that means that I've avoided having COVID for 2 years. But anyway, and then, so that was last week. I came back on the Thursday. I went out in Inverness on the Friday to a restaurant, and then the Sunday, I started having like a bit of a sore throat, and I was like, okay, maybe it's just a sore throat with being on the plane, etc. And then on the Monday, I also got a bit of a cough, and then I was a bit like, this is a little bit ominous. And yeah, I thankfully over the weekend I didn't really have many. I didn't go out very much because I didn't spend much time with my parents either because I was conscious of being in London and just thought, well, to be on the safe side, I'll just sort of keep to one side from everybody. And then Tuesday morning, I woke up and I was like, oh man, yeah, I've definitely got a cold at least or something. Did my lateral flows because I'd been doing sort of daily lateral flows after coming back from London. Did my lateral flow, bing, positive. So it was very strange because obviously for 2 years to have been doing these tests every so often and it's negative, negative, negative. You kind of get used to it being negative, and then when it's suddenly positive, it was a bit. I wasn't scared. I think I was more essentially daft, but I was a bit excited almost, or not excited, but just a bit like, oh well, let's see what happens now, boys. Um, because I guess that's the thing. A lot of the times, like the stress, I think part of the stress and the anxiety of COVID for me is that fear of not knowing how bad it's going to be when you do get it, and um that when and trying to avoid it, but then when you actually have it, it's like the situation's then in your control almost, not really, but it's happening, um and you've just got to roll with it, which I suppose is kind of how I feel about my illness in general, in that the biggest stress is that it's the unknown. It's not knowing how bad I'm going to get and when I'm going to get bad. But then when I'm actually really, really ill, then it's like, well, you're living it, you're in control of it and how you deal with it. So you've just got to get on with it. Still horrible, right enough. But anyway, that's another tangent. So yes, I tested positive on Tuesday morning and I went to work because I just work from home now. So just logged on, which has been so handy. Like, I think just because I was feeling like I had a cold, basically, I probably wouldn't have gone into the office had I had a physical office to go into, because it takes effort. I think, getting yourself ready and presentable, having a shower. I mean, obviously I had a shower anyway, but getting yourself dressed, lugging yourself out of the office. When you're tired and when you have a cold or an illness, that just adds up, and it cumulatively, just being outside of your environment, your home environment, I find quite tiring. So it was nice to just be able to work from home, and I managed to work from home. It's a little bit slow. I didn't push myself, but I was still able to log on. And I emailed my consultant, who said, get in touch with the local health board and they can talk you through the questions that you need to get the antivirals, because I have the ability to get antivirals on immunosuppressants and have a serious health condition. So I'm on that list, lucky me. And phoned up Inverness, and they gave me the option of either coming in. I think one of the antivirals or the medications I can't take because it's quite damaging for the liver. So that was automatically discarded. And then the other remaining options were either the infusion, the monoclonal antibody infusion, which you have to go into hospital for an hour every day for however long, a week I think it is, or I get these medications, this medicine that I just take at home, the oral antivirals, Molnupiravir I think it's called. So obviously, because I can't be bothered, and this sounds really bad, so the difference in efficacy is quite marked. I think with the monoclonal antibody, the intravenous treatment, that is a lot more effective in terms of preventing serious illness and death. But obviously it's more involved, and I hate anything going into my veins. If I can avoid getting IV anything, then I will. But that's far more effective. I think it's like 70% effective, whereas the tablets you take are only 30% effective. And again, this is in like clinical trials that they did last year with people who were healthy and unvaccinated. So it's essentially like a monoclinical trial that, yeah, you got to roll with it, don't you? But so I was like, yes, that's fine. I'll take those. I'll take the antivirals that I take at home, please. And then I had to chase up to get that done. So I spoke to somebody 10 o'clock on the Tuesday, and then pharmacy phoned me. Well, actually, I phoned pharmacy. No, sorry, right. I phoned up for the antivirals on Tuesday morning, and then Tuesday evening, like 5ish, I got a phone call. And they were like, right, okay, we'll give you the antivirals. You'll get a call from pharmacy. And then pharmacy didn't call me until, well, the next day I phoned them to check. And they were like, oh yeah, we've just done your prescription. Somebody will drop it off tonight. So I ended up actually getting the antivirals on Wednesday night by taxi, which was special service. And then I was in a life crisis on Wednesday night, because I was like, do I take this new, by this point I wasn't really feeling that unwell. I was feeling almost a little bit better. So I'm not feeling that unwell. Do I want to take something that's effectively like a new drug that's not really been tested? Do I want to risk it upsetting my liver, risk it upsetting my immune system, and having side effects from that? A lot of side effects we don't know about long term. I'm hoping that it doesn't cause anything, because I decided to take it in the end. Versus the benefit of potentially stopping me from developing serious side effects from COVID, or symptoms of COVID. And it's very difficult to know what to do, I think, because you're on a time limit with these antivirals, and that you've got to take them within the first 5 days of your symptoms appearing before otherwise it has even less of an effect. So really you've got to take them at the very start of your infection. But then with COVID as well, you hear so many anecdotal stories of people being fine for the first few days and feeling like they're getting better, and then getting a second wind of it and really being struck down. And at the back of my mind through all of this is like, I feel fine, but then I feel fine quite a lot of the time. And I think that my body's very good at um, appearing fine and feeling fine, but actually it's not doing so well. So I've always got to sort of try and remember that I'm actually a lot more ill than what I look and feel, which is not nice. But so this is all playing in the back of my mind, and I'm like, do I take them? Do I not take them? Do I not take them? Do I take them? And they're huge as well. They're like 2 centimeters long. Anyway, so in the end, I decided to just take them because I didn't want to risk becoming more seriously ill, you know. And as it happened, I think on the Thursday morning I woke up and I felt slightly worse. Or maybe it was the night before, I can't really remember, but there was a time where I was like, actually, maybe I'm not getting entirely better, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. But now this is Saturday, and I feel okay. I think I've still got a bit of like my throat's maybe still coughing a little bit. My nose is still a little bit blocked, but on the whole, yeah, touch wood, I've been okay, and I've definitely felt worse with colds. So if that provides some kind of reassurance to somebody who's in a similar position to me, in that they have underlying health conditions and we're shielding and are really still very afraid of catching COVID. Obviously, I think it depends so much on the individual, but it is possible to not be seriously ill with it. And I've not really had any side effects, I don't think, from the antivirals. I did have a bit of a sore stomach yesterday, which I don't normally have, but could be anything, couldn't it, really? It's a bit like period pain. It was, yeah, not very nice. But anyway, yeah, so hopefully I will eventually test negative for a lateral flow and I can go out and enjoy this beautiful sunshine that Scotland is now having. Do you know it's 17 degrees Celsius in Scotland today, apparently? So it's like the hottest place in the UK today is in Scotland. And it's the weekend that I had actually booked to go to Skye this weekend. And yet here I am in self-isolation. I can't complain. There are much, much worse things going on in the world right now, but it's just a bit annoying. And I'm sitting here in my flat looking out, and it's like there's literally there's one cloud in the sky there, on one there, but it's blue, blazing blue sky, beautiful sunshiny day, and I'm in here. And I thought, because now we can do the thing where if you test negative on day 6 and day 7, then you can effectively leave isolation. And I was like, okay, well, to me today is actually day 7, because apparently day 1 is my Sunday, when I got the sore throat last week. So I was like, maybe I could do a lateral flow today and then tomorrow, and maybe get out tomorrow night. But no, I'm like a beacon of positivity in the COVID front at the moment still. So yes, that will not be happening. This weekend will be spent in isolation. It's just as well I don't mind my own company, isn't it? Going slightly mad, but anyway, yes. So I hope that maybe provides some kind of comfort to somebody, maybe. And it seems so rife at the moment. Every single person I know has at least had COVID or has COVID now, apart from my parents, touch wood, that they stay that way. But yeah, I'm so lucky to have had the vaccines. I think that's probably, made a huge difference. And also the fact that it's a far less virulent strain. I think goodness knows what it would have been like first if I'd got COVID the first time round. So as annoying as it is to finally have got it now, I don't at all regret shielding or playing it safe for 2 years, because I think that if you're going to get it, you're better off waiting once you've had all the vaccines available. We do have treatments available now in terms of antivirals. Our knowledge of treating it is much better, and the virus, the strain that's going around right now, seems to be a lot milder. So yeah, fun times. But yeah, have a good day, and I'll no doubt update you. Well, I mean, to be honest, I've got to go and get blood tests done, I think, now. So the one hurdle is COVID, the next hurdle is, will my liver be unsettled by this, and will I have to, will my LFTs be skyrocketed and get back on the old steroidals? All that fun and games awaits me when I get out of isolation. It's just a roller coaster of fun, chronic illness, isn't it? Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. Bye. Have a good day. How do I turn this off? Where's my mouse gone? Oh, there it is. Okay, bye.